Okay, today we'll discuss factors influencing the perceptual set under perception and attribution. Okay, what is perceptual set? Factors influencing the perceptual set, we'll see. The perception, organization, and interpretation of information depends very much on the characteristics of the stimuli. Already we have discussed that. Characteristics of the situation and some are own personality characteristics. Characteristics of the situation influences as well as some of our own personality characteristics. Okay, personality of a person differs from another. Okay, the way of consisting personality is nothing but a person's consistent way of responding to various situations. All are not responding to the various situations similarly, right? That is, the situational and personality characteristics which influence the perceptual set are, we'll discuss here. The characteristics of the perceiver. Okay, characteristics of the perceiver. What are the characteristics of the perceiver? We will discuss individually. When a person looks at a target and attempts to interpret, what he sees, his interpretation is greatly influenced by his personal characteristics, which are discussed here as needs and motive is the first. Right? What is needs and motives? Our need pattern play an important part in how we perceive things. A need is a feeling or discomfort, or we can say tension, when one thing he is missing something or requires something. Therefore, unsatisfied needs or motives stimulate individuals and may exert a strong influence on their perception. Unsatisfied needs what? According to Maslow, I think you have studied in your first semester. According to Maslow, people with satisfied needs will be unrest. When people are not able to satisfy their needs, they are engaged in wishful thinking, which is a way to satisfy their need not in the real world but imaginary world. Wishful thinking, what I mean to say. Sometimes people may dream it if it is not possible. In such cases, people will perceive only those items which suit their wishful thinking. Right? Motives also influence the perception of the people. People who are devious are prone to see others also devious. Right? Another is self-concept. Self-concept indicates how we perceive ourselves, which then influences how we perceive others and the situation we are in. Some people pessimistic, some people optimistic. That will also influence because of your intentions. The more we understand ourselves, the more we are able to perceive others accurately. For instance, secure people tend to see others as warm and friendly, those who are secure. Less secure people often find fault with others. Right? Perceiving ourselves accurately and enhancing our self-concept are factors that enhance accurate perceptions. Right? Another is past experience. Our perceptions are often guided by our past experiences and what we expect to see. A person, past experience mold the way he perceives the current situation. If a person has been betrayed by a couple of friends in the past, he may get betrayed, right? He would tend to distrust any new friendship that he might be in the process of developing. Another is current psychological state. The psychological and emotional state of an individual are likely to influence how things are perceived. If a person is depressed, he is likely to perceive the same situation differently than if he is elected, uh, what we call it as if he is selected, right? Similarly, If a person is scared of wits by seeing a snake, okay, general people will have that kind of nature, right? When you see a snake, whether it is poisonous or not, okay, whether it is poisonous or not, you will be right, you will scare of it. Sometimes, okay, you may perceive a rope, okay, under the bed as a snake. Another is beliefs. A person's beliefs influence his perception to great extent. Thus, a fact is conceived not on what it is, but what a person believes it to be. The individual normally sends or stimulus input to avoid disturbance of his existing beliefs. Another is expectations. Expectations affect the perception of the person. Except, okay, expectations are related with the state of anticipation of a particular behavior from a person. For example, a technical manager will expect the non-technical people behavior from a person. For example, right? You will see that. A technical manager will expect the non-technical people will be ignorant about the technical features of the product. Okay, because of this, the managers are trained with marketing as well as production skills. And another is situation. Elements in the environment surrounding an individual like time, location, light, heat, etc. influence a particular person's perception. Right? The context in which a person sees the objects or events is very important. Right? Another is cultural upbringing. A person's ethics, values, and his cultural upbringing also play an important role in his perception about others. It is difficult to perceive the personality of a person raised in another culture because our judgment is based upon our own values. Right? Then we'll see characteristics of the perceived. Right? Characteristics of the person, okay, perceived. Characteristics of the person who is being observed can affect what is perceived. Though it may go against logic and objectivity, but it cannot be denied that our perceptions about others are influenced by the physical characteristics such as appearances. Generally, we have this kind of nature. Okay. Our perceptions about others influenced by their physical character, physical structure, that is appearance. By age also we sometimes perceive them differently. Gender, right? The male we perceive differently if she is a female. If a human being is a female, we may perceive the same differently. Manner of communication as well as personal traits and other forms of behavior we perceive differently that will influence us to perceive the things in a different manner. For example, loud people are more likely to be noticed in a group than are quiet ones. Okay, those who are loudly sounding will be noticed first than those who are quiet. So, two are extremely attractive and extremely ugly individuals. So, two are extremely attractive means the people who are making noise loudly maybe take your attention. Right? Persons, objects, or events that are similar to each other tend to be grouped together. Okay, tend to be grouped together. People dressed in business suits are generally thought to be professionals. Those who wore the blazer, right? Those who wore the blazers will be perceived as professionals, while employees dressed in ordinary work clothes are assumed to be lower level employees. Manner of communication, both verbal and non-verbal, affect our perception about others. Okay, that's why we say that people who do not open their mouth, we can't predict them. If people who speak, who open their mouth, okay, those who share, okay, verbal communication will be perceived, okay, assessed in a different way, affect our perception about, okay, others in a verbal and both non-verbal communication, right? For example, choice of words and precision of language can form impressions about the education and sophistication of the person. You will see, I saw a person who has worked with me, right? His English is good, and moreover, he has selected as uh, one among 8 in India for APSHA program. His pronunciation is also good. He will take such people, okay, we will take the impression. They will take the impression with their precision, language, okay, and personality. The tone of voice indicates the mood of the person, how you are. Okay, the body language, the expressive behavior, such as how your person sits and the movement of his eyes or a smile can indicate whether he is nervous or self-confident. Of course, if you are eye contact, if may not contain, eye contact, and those circumstances we may perceive them as inferior. Okay, those are we pursue them as people of shy. The status or occupation of person also influence the perception. We tend to behave in a more respectful way when we are introduced to the principal of school in which our child is studying. One good example, judge of the High Court or Supreme Court are, okay, how could you perceive? A famous cricket player, okay, we've met celebrities, we say that, okay, and sometimes our perception of person tends to be biased depending upon the description given to us by other persons. Okay, we got some feedback regarding the person, okay, intentionally or unintentionally, and we perceive, okay, because of that information we got, sometimes we tend to be biased, right? When we meet a person who is described to us as warm and friendly, we treat him differently as compared to meeting a person who is known to be cold and calculating, right? And another is characteristics of the situation, perceived characteristics, okay, perceiver characteristics, and the characteristics of the situation. Now we'll discuss the context in which we see the objects or events is more important. The surrounding environments and the elements present in it influence our perception while perceiving a particular situation or even its physical, social and organizational setting can also influence the perception. For example, if you meet a person for the first time and he is with a person whom you respect and admire, you will create a favorable image about him in your mind, and as compared to situation in which you see him with another person whom you intensely dislike. Of course, the initial impressions may change with the passage of time, but the saying that first impression is the best or last impression is very valuable, right? And we'll see perceptual location of a given event is also a very important factor in determining the behavior. For example, a conversation with the boss takes place in a causal, okay, reception, right? area may be perceived differently than with taking place in the boss office with the door closed. Right? When you observe, it is different. Organizational setting also affect the behavior of the people. An organizational setting where people are given an opportunity to interact in the in a friendly and sociable workstation, they become more trustworthy and less defensive. Okay, with these factors influencing perception, we can summarize perceptual outputs. Perceptual outputs encompass all the results from the thought process. These would include such factors as one's attitudes, opinions, feelings, values, and behaviors resulting from the perceptual inputs and thought through okay throughputs. Through outputs. Perceptual errors adversely affect the perceptual outputs. The lesser our biases in perception, the better our chances of perceiving reality as it exists, or at least perceiving situation with the minimum amount of distortions. This will help us to form the right attitudes and engage in appropriate behavioral patterns, which in turn will be beneficial for attaining the desired organizational outcomes. It is essentially important for managers who are responsible for organizational results to enhance their skills in order to develop the right attitudes and behavior. Right? And we'll see uh, perceptual errors, distortion, and attribution. Right? Sometimes errors creep into the perceptual interpretations of individuals. Some errors creep into the perceptual interpretation of the individual. Right? Then perceptual distortion is a position where the person does not perceive the things, particularly the person as it may be. Perceive the thing, person does not perceive the thing, particularly the person as it may be. This is affected because of several factors which taint our judgment, which taint our judgment about other person, other people, and other situations. Since the accuracy of our decision is contingent upon the accuracy of our perception, it is necessary to know what the barriers to perceptual accuracy are so that these can be considered in out judgments or can be eliminated if possible. Right? Now we'll see the barriers to perceptual accuracy. What are the barriers for perceptual accuracy? One is selective perception. As we have discussed earlier, perceptual selectivity refers to the tendency to select certain objects from the environment. Right? The objects which are selected and those which are relevant and appropriate for an individual are those which are consistent with his existing beliefs, values, and needs. Right? From all this, it is clear that selectivity tends to be biased by an individual attitudes, interests, and background than by stimulus itself. Right? Of course, stimulus has effect, but more than that, an individual has to screen out or filter out most of the stimuli so that he may deal with the important or relevant ones. Right? Selectivity thus works as a shortcut in judging other people. Selectivity enables the perceiver to screen out others, but in this there is a risk of drawing an inaccurate picture because we see what we want to see. We can draw unwanted conclusions from an ambiguous situation. People sometimes distort meanings so that they may fit with what they want. The simplest way of avoiding hasty or wrong decisions being made due to selective perceptions is to seek other people's perceptions of reality in the same situation in order to make a better assessment of the situation. Right? And another is attribution. Attribution simply refers to how people explain the cause of another's as their own behavior. It is the process by which people draw conclusions about the factors that influence or make sense of one's one another's behavior. The knowledge about the causes of behavior brings order and predictability in certain actions and events and assists us in knowing how to respond. Applied to perception, there are generally two types of attributions that people make: personal dispositions and situational attributions. Personal dispositions relate a person's behavior to internal factors such as personality traits, motivation, or ability, and situational attributions attribute a person's behavior to external factors such as equipment, accidents, or social influences from others. There is a general tendency among the individuals to attribute their own behavior to situational factors but explain the behavior of the others by personal dispositions. When a person observes an event in the organization, his evaluation of evaluation of and reaction to others' behavior may be highly influenced by his perception. Okay, for instance, if a supervisor believes that an error made by his subordinate is due to reasons beyond his control, that is due to external factors such bad equipment, and his perception of his subordinate's work will be different from that if he attributes the error to his own gross negligence. This behavior based on his perceptions would also then vary, right, depend on the kind of attributions he makes. If the supervisor attributes the error due to external factors beyond the control of the subordinate, he might perceive the subordinate as capable and trustworthy, and he help him as much as he can. On the other hand, if the attributes to the personal negligence, okay, if he attributes to the personal negligence, right, of the subordinate, he would perceive him as responsible and try to get rid of them, right? That is another. Next, in this attribution, that is fundamental attribution error. The perceptual distortion is because of two attribution occurs. That is, one is fundamental attribution error and the other is self-serving bias, we call it as. When we make judgments about the behavior of the people, we have a tendency to underestimate the influence of external factor and overestimate the influence of internal factor. This is called the fundamental attribution error. There is also a tendency for individuals to attribute their success to internal factors like ability or effort, while also a tendency for individuals to attribute their success to internal factors like ability or effort, while putting the blame for failure an external factor like luck. Putting the blame for failure, we will throw it on external factor, that is luck. This is called self-serving bias, right? Therefore, incorrect decisions are possible based on erroneous attributions resulting in misconceptions. And another is stereotyping. Stereotyping means judging someone on the basis of one's perception of the group to which that person belongs to. This is a basic human tendency to perceive an individual as belonging to a single class or category, and hence attributing favorable or unfavorable characters to the individual based upon a widely held generalizations about the group. Some examples of common stereotypes are that Americans are materialistic. Generally we say that Japanese are nationalistic, and Germans are industrious. Generally, a person is likely to categorize the others according to some common group characteristics such as sex, race, religion, nationality, occupation, or organizational affiliation. The individual experiences with others in the category in which he has placed them they lead him to believe that they have certain traits in common. Thus, he is ready to believe the others as possessing the same trait. Okay, from organizational point of view, some of the established stereotypes are that managerial positions are the domain of the males. Okay, managerial positions are the domains of the males. The females, okay, are traditionally placed in the categories of nurses, secretaries, airline stewardess, okay, and the male stereotype categories are policemen, firemen, truck drivers, etc. Age is another stereotype which represents problems in organizational environment, such as capabilities as physical, psychological, and intellectual are sometimes presumed on the basis of the age as a person. Generalization based upon stereotypes, making assimilation easier. Okay, since it permits to maintain consistency, it becomes less difficult to deal with an unmanageable number of stimuli if we use stereotypes. But in the danger lies in incorrect stereotyping. For example, all politicians are not self-serving and all workers are not anti-management. Exceptions may always be there. This fact must be considered while judging a person based on generally accepted traits of the group to which he belongs. And another is halo effect. The halo effect refers to the tendency of judging people on the basis of a single trait, which may be good or bad, favorable or unfavorable. The halo effect is very similar to stereotyping, whereas in stereotyping, the person is perceived according to a single category. Under the halo effect, the person is perceived on the basis of a single trait. Sometimes we judge a person by one first impression about him or her. For example, if a person is kind, he may also be perceived as good, able, helpful, cheerful, nice, and intelligent, and so on. On the other hand, if a person is abrasive, he may also be perceived as bad, awful, unkind, aggressive, harmful, wicked. Right? And the halo effect is very common type of error committed by the managers while evaluating the subordinates. A manager who himself is very punctual, worldview his subordinates who is always at work on time more favorable than those who are not. This one trait of punctuality can influence a supervisor's rating of employee productivity and quality of his product may favorably even if his actual performance is not up to the mark. Halo effect, whether they are in the positive or negative direction, could our perceptions and act as a screen blockers us from actually perceiving the trait that is being judged. Wrong decisions can easily occur because of the halo effect. Okay, halo effect in perceptions. One way of minimizing the halo effect is to have the manager judge all his subordinates on a single factor or trait being going to the next. In this manner, okay, he can consider all of the men relative to a standard as to each other, okay, on each trait. And another is projection. It is easy to judge others if we assume that they are similar to us. When one's own personal attributes are assigned to others, then projection takes place. Okay, when one's own personal attributes are assigned to others, projection takes place. A manager who loves challenging work may assume that all others like challenging work too. If you yourself are honest and trustworthy, you take it for granted that other people are equally honest and trustworthy. This may be particularly true regarding undesirable traits which the perceiver possesses but fails to recognize in himself. Example, a person who is dishonest may be suspicious of others and may receive dishonest intention in others where they do not exist. People are afraid may interpret others' behavior as a fearful or anxious. When a manager engages in projection, he comprises his ability to respond to individual differences. He tends to see people as more homogeneous than they really are. In order to avoid this error in judging others, the manager should be conscious of his weakness of overlooking difference among people. Another is perceptual set. A perceptual set means previously held beliefs about an object's influence on individual perception of similar objects. For example, a manager may have developed the general belief and attitude that workers are lazy and shirkers, okay, and those they want, okay, to gain, whether it is whatever is possible from organization without giving their best to it. His subsequent perception will be influenced by this set when he meets group of workers. The manager tends to interpret the behavior of the worker according to his mental set. And another is implicit personality theory. In judging and making inferences about others, an individual's perception are influenced by his self that certain human traits are associated with one another. For example, the trait honesty is associated with hardworking. All hardworking people are perceived to be honest. And lastly, expectancy. Expectancy is a tendency to perceive people, objects, or events on the basis of what we expect them to be in the first place. The, this aspect also known as self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, though this aspect you may create certain things in the work situation that you expect to find to start with. For example, if you have become a member of an important committee comprising of very high level intellectuals, you would meet the committee members with certain perceptions and would try to find out the member what you expect to find on the basis of these perceptions. Thank you for listening patiently. Thank you very much. Good day. See you.